Hello, everyone. I know you've seen this face before, but you've probably heard the voice. But altogether, it's Grumm. And nice to see you. Nice to have company on the adventure. Figure I might do this every once in a while. Because I take a walk every day for a little bit. If you want to take a walk with me, I'll tell you all about my story. If you have any questions, you can ask away. I'd be happy to answer. So, sorry if there's a lot of wind. It's actually feels nice and cool and breezy today as opposed to the normal 500 and screwedest degrees outside. Gotta love Florida, right? Anywho, so I know some of you have been tuning in and watching the adventures, and we have got little Saturday parties. But believe it or not, even though you see Grumm there, Grumm's been around a while. He's could have done lots of stuff. Oh yeah, yeah, by he I mean me, because I'm Grumm. Yeah, and um, so well, yeah, I guess I'll start at the beginning. Uh, I was raised on a farm. I was born on that farm. I was born first and then raised. You gotta make sure you do that right. You can't get raised before you're born, right, dude? Anyway, so uh, Mama, she was a fire giant, big girl, lots of fire. I don't know how Dad did it. He was just a little guy, but I guess they have fun. And here I am, half giant, half fire giant. I he was awful lonely. For a long time, I spent all my life on that farm, and I didn't know anybody except Mom and Dad. And I get the chickens and the cows, and all the animals. And, yeah, and me with the animals, I love the animals. I love them so much. You get to hug them and squeeze them and pet them, and sometimes it's so much that they just fell asleep. And so, and there was a day when some of the animals were still sleeping, and Mom and Dad were still sleeping. So, okay, thought maybe they was tired, and I went on head out and was doing the farm stuff and feeding the animals and tending the fields. And came home for lunch, and Mom and Dad were still asleep. Okay, they must have been really tired, I thought, and so I went out and I just made me a little sandwich, real quiet like, and went back outside and come home for dinner. Mom and Dad were still asleep, and I thought they must be real tuckered out, and so I just let them sleep. And so, after about 2 or 3 days, and Mom and Dad were still sleeping, and they didn't waking up, and so I started to get a little worried and thought, oh, double gamer, am I a hobo pirate? Or don't confuse this pirate face. This is currently in character as a Grumm. Hey, eclipsed doppelganger. Just FYI, Grumm doesn't know how to read, so you're lucky this guy does. Anyway, so Mom and Dad wasn't waking up, and I got a little worried, so I left the farm to go find some help, and got sidetracked. I ran into this fun little group. I don't even know what city I was in, but there was a dragonborn and some bird lady feller, and they had a little kid with them, and some funny looking little wizard dude. And they was going one way, and I had a couple people I'd run into that thought was going to go on an adventure, and I was all excited. I had all kinds of new friends, and sorry, Andy, I can't do a cartwheel. Oh, no. Or, or maybe after I roll some really good dice, that would be an athletics check, my DM would say. Anywho, hello, Maddie. Oil up. You know what oil up means? Not a bodybuilder. Oh yeah, and that's a lot of squiggles. I can't read all that. So, yeah, they had these new friends I made. They had something they had to do, and we wandered off and found this little old, well, I guess it wasn't really an abandoned town. It was just kind of in a bad shape. Like somebody just pitched a royal fit and tore it all apart. And you faxed me 100. Okay. So, as it turned out, there wasn't nobody living in that village no more because the goblins done wore them off. Little green fellows and riding on the back of these wolves. And, I tried to make nice with them, but they come up and started swinging at me. And I just had to swing back. Well, the puppies, they come up, try to get some hugs, and I give big old hugs back, and they too went to sleep. And somewhere along the lines, I got a little distracted and started wandering around, and the rest of the group kept on going, and I guess they forgot old Grumm was still trying to figure out which way they went. And so I got lost in the woods for a while. You the one who tries to take my treasure. Well, I got my own treasure, thank you, and don't need nobody else's. Although, I do know a pirate, so, I was lost in the woods for a long time, and then, stepped out in a clearing once, and, there were a bunch of guys surrounding me with some bows and arrows, and I don't know, I guess I spoke to them because I wasn't trying to be sneaky, there I was. Never let take windy cap as Abraham stay young forever. I am not faking wearing an eye patch, Duke. It's really new eyeball. I just got this fancy one. But I think you're getting Patch mixed up with Captain Hook. He's a whole different fellow. Anywho, Galaxy Gas Monkey Man, I don't know what you're talking about. They do have in the description that this is supposed to be a story about the character Grumm. So, this new group, they was already on adventure and they just started up and doing years. Actually getting into the pirate thing quite well. And just to know that that's not my real voice. This is my real voice. And yes, I do the pirate thing, because who doesn't love a pirate? But yeah, this particular series is supposed to be about Grumm, who's one of my D&D characters. I started out playing as Grumm, and then now that I'm a DM, Grumm has become an NPC. So this is to give a little backstory. So yeah, these fellows were already on some adventures and decided they could use some help, and being half a fire giant, I'm actually I am a pretty big guy, so they figured, all right, let's bring the big guy. You'll help out a lot. That group was a little bit funny. They sure did like to make lots of contracts and do reading and paperwork and lawyering, and I don't know, they had some kind of special family going on, something about being in the family made them all kind of special, and they had to take advantage of other people. Were I didn't figure out till later that they was taking advantage. I had to sort that out on my own. That was kind of shady stuff, but they said they was the good guys. So anywho, one of the first things we did, they took me to some place where there's all kinds of elves and stuff, and there was a big underground area, like underneath the tree roots or something, I think. There was all kind of bugs. Always, I don't want to burn everybody too much. We had to get out of there. We did go back and finish everything up, though. And by the time we was getting things finished up, or there was somebody, I guess the rest of the guys knew who he was, but well, I never no idea. Um, but he looked really cool. He was big and red and had some big old horns up there and but I sorted out that all the horns and the red skin and stuff, and that was just, it was a suit he was wearing and not him himself. So yeah, we made quick work out of him, and then I decided to keep the suit for myself as like a trophy, and I looked rather smart in it. Sharp, I should say. I looked good. A little bitty suit on a big old body, so skin tight. How you doing? And wasn't long after that I started seeing this lady in my dreams when I was going to sleep. Real nice lady. She has some leather rings and she has some horns too. She's real sweet. Wanted to give me all kinds of stuff. And wanted to give me like gold and jewels and drinks and food and women and all kind of. I was friends because I'm all about some friends. Interruption is like, oh.
Hello.
Howdy. Just two. Thank you. All right. So, figured y'all just join me on the walk to the store. And where's we at? Oh yeah, I know this lady. Well, she said she just wanted to be my friend. I don't know, we just kind of hung out in my dreams for a little while. And, I don't know, and she'd make me a little bit stronger and a little bit faster. And then she asked me if I want another friend, and of course she doesn't want more friends. And it turned out the suit itself wanted to be my friend. Yes, what you know about that? I didn't know the suit was alive. Apparently I was the only one that could hear him, but he was a funny little character. And of course I did tell the rest of the guys about some of the stuff, and they just kind of like didn't seem all too concerned. And so, you know, we went on about our adventures. You know, one of the guys, he was half elf, and another one, I don't remember what he was. Felix, or I love Felix. He was cool. He was like a little kitty boy, and I always had him a little pet, and was really good with the bows and arrows. He was just a tiny little thing. I used to pick him up, and I think only like 2 or 3 times. I pick him up and I throw him somewhere just for fun. Not sure he liked that very much, but it was helpful. And let's see. Oh, there was one place we went to that had some giant purple worms. And by then I was feeling pretty strong and confident because we've been smushing everything, you know. And oh yeah, we made. Well, that one worm was really big. It took us a minute, but oh yeah, we smushed them all good. And it was some part of a contract, and then of course, I get bored again when the guys going around and signing papers and all that other stuff. And, I can't read anyway, and always just all boring. I just like to have fun. So, they're doing contracts and I'm out chasing butterflies and stuff, And, let's see. Well, we ended up going on to this other town, and we was having a big tournament, like to see who all the best fighters were. And, it was your group and our group and their group, and every once in a while they threw in some sort of critter or another. Turns out, one of the guys in one of the other groups was like one of my friend's cousins or something. And they talked a lot of smack back and forth. And, we went in, I think it was maybe 10 or 15 seconds. So we just like smushed them. And then, and by the time all that was done, it was amazing because, the whole arena was just chanting, Grumm, Grumm, Grumm. The whole town knew where I was everywhere I went. And then we went back to the house where we were staying at, and the rest of the group decided, they wanted to rest and they had things to catch up on. I was all hyped up. Now one party to celebrate a win, right? So, it's like, okay, well, whatever you guys want to do, I'm going to go have fun and have some drinks. And a couple of the guys were like, you know what, we'll go with you. I was like, okay. And, we didn't, about as soon as we started getting back into where there was anybody in town, there was so many people that they all got together, picked me up on their shoulders, and that was wild because nobody picked me up. I'm big. And, but there was enough of them, and they got me up there, and I was just floating away, and they shouting, Grumm, 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 and I don't know, the next thing I know, like everybody's just like scatters. Like everybody went a different way to drop me to the ground. I lucky I landed on my feet. I think they tried to do me on my bum. And I turned around, and Felix and the other fellow, they was out in the. They looked like they'd seen better times. They kind of beat up a little bit, but there was something funny glowy in their eyes. And then this big old demon-looking critter he was big. He made me look little. He had a big guy and had big horns and stuff, and had like a whip made out of fire and stuff. And it was kind of cool, really. If I'm going to be admitted to it. And hello, puppy. Hi. Eat your puppers. Anyway, see, I got distracted, and you can tell. And it turns out that big dude was actually trying to kill my friends, and that does not fly with me. I stay off my friends. So he had to get smushed. So he smushed him good. And then, I don't know, we went on, and after that we had a little bit of celebration. We went on to another town, and by then I'm kind of liking smushing things. And turns out that my suit's name was Dedgar. And turns out Dedgar was liking me smushing stuff too. He's real thirsty. And I tried to give him water and stuff, and he just wasn't having it. He was thirsty for blood. It's kind of a strange appetite, but my friend's thirsty. I'm gonna help him drink. So we had to find some blood, and but everything was all right. It was doing good, and he was happy with just the blood of some critters here and there, and then eventually, suddenly it just wasn't being enough, and I was kind of feeling a little antsy myself. And we get to this one town, and find out there's some artificer folks that was in some kind of race between each other to figure out some sort of mechanical dude that would make like a horseless carriage, which was weird. Like, yeah, the wheels would go by themselves and made some kind of noise by it. You know, animals. But they had some things to sort out first, and they had some kind of black goo that they had to get enough of to make the stuff go. And I was kind of mesmerized by that process, seeing all that fire just coming out of that little black drop. And oh, man, I wanted some of that. More fire. Because I'm fire, and if I could make more fire, I'd make more Grumm. Yeah. And so they told us where it was going to be so we could go find it. And so we said, okay, we'll start out tomorrow morning. So we went back to the inn, get us some rest, because it was a long day. And when we got there, somebody was, we was just talking to some folks. I don't know who was saying what. The fellas were doing their deals and talking to their people and doing their whatevers. I'm just all kind of bored, and I'm just trying to drink away my boredom. And then some fella from the other group decided to step up when he said, well, if you're bored, if you guys want to fight, we could have a little fight, and you don't want a number. Well, that sounded like fun to me. I say a lot better than sitting around and flapping jaws all night. So I said, well, apparently you don't know who I am, because the next town over, they all Grumm, go there anyway. So, he wanted a piece of it. And so I let him take a first swing, and he missed. And I caught his hand and flipped him around and grabbed a hold of him in a big old Grumm hug. And said, by that time, like I had nice all kind of claws on my suit and stuff. So that was lots of fun. And then it turned out that I was squeezing so hard, my claws was digging into his chest, and they were trying to tell me to let go, and I wasn't doing it because I was bored and I wanted to squish something, and then the suit was thirsty, and it was there, and it was time to eat and time to have fun and time to celebrate and time to get crazy. And boy, they cast some kind of magic or other on me that made me let go. I was a little disappointed, but it turned out okay, I guess. And I think then they started to realize maybe something wasn't quite right about the suit. And I didn't know that. All I know is, I was asleep, and I woke up, and one of the fellas was standing over me trying to do some kind of magic on my fancy suit, and it was hurting me because this suit, the suit wasn't a suit no more, it was my skin. So whatever magic they was doing was tearing my skin off of me, and I wasn't too keen on that. And you just instinct waking up that way, you grabbed him by the throat, because it took me a second to realize who it was. And then there was some more magic, and I went back to sleep. And then nobody said nothing about it no more. And then we ended up riding off into the desert. Big old desert. We got lost for a long while. There was something funny going on with the time. We kept having like flashbacks and stuff, and then there was flashbacks, and then there was flash forwards. I don't know. We got all kind of lost. We thought we was only in the desert for like 2 weeks. And then by the time we figured out, we actually had been in the desert for several months. So not that we lost track of time. How hard is it to, counting is hard anyway, but for those of you that know your numbers, it's not that hard to count how many times the sun come up, right? So we knew it only come up however many times it makes 2 weeks, and somebody told us it was wrong, so somebody was doing some fancy time stuff. And speaking of fancy time stuff, we're at the end of this little trip. So we'll take a little rest. And then next time I'm heading on the adventure, we'll pick back up where we left off. In the desert. Each year, please say a prayer for my Italian friend that passed away in a car accident. His name is Fagiano Pinasanti. Well, sorry to hear about your friend. I've lost a couple myself that way. I am not a religious person, so I won't pray, but I will hope you're able to find solace and healing and are able to enjoy positive memories of your friend and treasure the fact that they were in your life for whatever amount of time that they were. And all that being said and done, it's been a pleasure chatting with y'all, and I hope you enjoyed this bit, and maybe we'll see you on the next one.